Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Show, AD's Corner. I'm Ryan Hall, your athletic director, and with me today, Coach Tighe, our head men's basketball coach. Coach, how you doing?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing well. A little different, obviously. We got the masks on, so we'll have to speak up a little bit, obviously. But excited to have you here, Coach. And it's been a whirlwind of a go with everything COVID related. But with that said, I know you guys have been working hard and got your first game in, and we'll hop into that. But before we do, you got a lot of new faces and some key returners. How did preseason go leading up to yesterday, our first game? How things been going to get going this year for 2021?
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle. When you have a bunch of new guys, you just need time and cohesion and reps to get together and get some consistency. And we've had kind of some freak injuries, which we've been really lucky the past 3 years not to have so much of that. And we've had a high ankle sprain, a broken shoulder, a dislocated finger, and kind of the gamut of stuff. And then with what the season is going to be with COVID, guys are shuffling in and out, and I'd say half of our practices so far this year, we've had 10 guys out of our 17, and I think that showed up last night, just that we have rust, we don't have that cohesion yet, but they're playing hard, and the guys that are coming into practice every single day are giving the best they can with what they have to do with them. We just talked about this year is about rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Just going with who's there at the day, at the time, and seeing what you can do. So so far, so good. Hopefully we can get a little bit more consistency with everybody being present moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, testament obviously to your staff, your guys, to remain focused. I mean, you hit the hammer on the head. It's crazy. You could have your whole team one practice, and you might have shut down for a while the next, depending on testing and symptoms and all that good stuff. So glad you guys have been able to roll. Hopefully we'll continue to do so. And I bet it felt amazing for those guys to actually play a game for the first time last night. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, between 11 game cancellations and 2 scrimmage postponements, and we weren't sure if we were going to get able to play with some testing coming up there. So when it actually came to fruition, guys were thrilled.
Yeah.
That was good, and every year we talk about like not taking anything for granted.
Yep.
And I think this is a year when you're talking about your season, like you don't take any of the games for granted at this point anymore. So they were pumped to get out there. Absolutely.
And Coach, the game last night, I was able to watch online last night, me and my little guy, and he was fired up. I was fired up just because it is basketball season despite these crazy times, and came out with a win last night at Oak Hills, and a lot of new faces, some returners obviously that were impact players. Who impressed you last night in your victory to start the season?
We had a really nice balanced attack. I think the best way to sum up the game yesterday is my daughter told me, she said in the first 2 minutes, she's like, we're going back to the national tournament. And then the next 2 minutes, she's like, I'm not so sure. and that's kind of what we were. We were really up and down. And great credit to Oak Hills. They played a great game. And,
much improved team.
Yes, very, very good. That was a great test for us in a very tough environment with there. But, yeah, we had a lot of different guys kind of step up, and Kieran Goodwin, senior transfer from Winona State, played really well yesterday. I thought John Ketchell came in and after kind of taking a little bit of a year off, played pretty well. He battled a ankle sprain, and then he was sick for a week, so his conditioning's not quite where it's at. And then our group of 5 men all came in, and we're talking about replacing Max Cooper in different ways, and there's nobody on this team that's quite like Max, but as a group, this can be a very dominant force of 5s working together.
Nice.
They all bring a little bit different attributes to there, and Xavier Towns kind of started the way, and he's been here for 2 years already.
Good to see him on the floor and healthy.
Yep, he's still battling his foot deal, but he's been able to get in and not miss any practice when he did that, and then with Carl and Manny coming in, that's just a nice group. So yeah, we had a lot of positives out of there yesterday.
Absolutely, and like you said, a lot of new faces with some key returners, but one thing doesn't change, and I'd say your mantra, if you will, is how hard those kids play, getting up and down the court, which was awesome to see. Congrats on the first win of the season. Get that first one under your belt, and know those guys are gonna continue to grow a bit. With that said, as you move forward, you're not home for a while, not till middle or late November, should I say, the 20th. What are you looking, obviously, to hopefully get the games in, right? And then, but assuming you're going to get the games in, what do you think you really need to focus on right now as a unit, predominantly before you get going in some conference play?
Yeah, again, vastly different year. I think the number one thing is how do we get everybody at practice every day? And we're spending as a coaching staff a lot of time and effort figuring out different ways with wearing masks in practice to washing hands to sleep, all those things just to try and get everybody into practice. And then and number two is this was the first game that we've ever had since I've been here that we didn't have a scrimmage beforehand. So we're going to have a scrimmage this Friday and Monday, and then we'll have another game the following Friday. So that should give us some time to be on the same team. And when you're practicing with 10 guys, you're never on the same team and you never get any subs. So you never really know where your conditioning's at. Certain guys don't get to play with certain people all the time. So just getting to be on the same team is important. So the scrimmages this weekend will be great. We need some time to be able to work on some things and just really see where we're at.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I know in AD's meetings we talk about scheduling and conference and things like that. For the most part, other than some potential makeup COVID weekends if games get canceled, it's the same conference schedule. And with that said, I know you guys were picked number 2 preseason. Bellevue number 1. Seems in the 3 years I've been here, I know you've been here a little bit longer than me, but it's been such a good rivalry, I'd say, with us and Bellevue, and obviously, 3 tournament championships in a row from you and your staff has been special. Can you talk a little bit about the depth of the league and how strong Bellevue and some other teams as well, that are going to be really tough this year?
Yeah. In my opinion, the league is vastly better than it was last year.
Okay.
Bellevue's had a couple big wins already. Dickinson, who I think was picked 7th.
So they beat Montana Tech.
Beat Montana, and not just beat them, just hammered them right away. Dakota State has got a lot of big talent coming in. I know they got a D1 transfer and some other kids that are in there. Valley City returns, a lot of guys and gets a couple new guards on there. Presentation has got some huge size through there. Viterbo returns 7 of their top 8.
Wow.
Waldorf has some very talented transfers. I don't know if I'm missing anybody, but there's talent everywhere.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's really going to come back to who can stay healthy.
Yeah.
For us, basketball is a different sport than what we've seen a lot at the university level right now.
Yeah.
And to take 2 weeks off, if you get into a quarantine situation, conditioning wise is like starting over. And it's going to take a good at least another week after that to kind of get back into the swing of things, I think. So if you can stay healthy and you can avoid all that, and then maybe be lucky or unlucky, I guess I don't know how you want to say it, but to play some other teams that aren't as healthy, that's a big thing. I think you're going to see scores across the league and probably across the country that you're kind of like, whoa, wow, I didn't expect that. But it's really just there's going to be a lot of luck, health involved this year. And
the other thing you mentioned, a little bit different than what we've seen so far. For us here at Mayville, volleyball and football. If a kid is a positive test or goes in quarantine or whatever, the close contacts. The tough part is about basketball. I mean,
we're all over each other.
Your team isn't but so big, and you're all over each other up and down. So that's another tough thing. And obviously, we're praying and hoping that we can stay healthy and get games in. But it's going to be a challenging year, as we both know. So, well, that's great. It sounds like obviously the North Star continues to raise the bar a bit. And Coach, one thing I want to ask you, and I'm not sure how much you talk about it, but is there a sense in that locker room, you do have some solid returners, is there a sense in that locker room of, we've been to the national tournament, or last year, right, got canceled because of COVID, but we've been in national tournament the past 3 years as conference champions. do they have that? You know, obviously it's a new team, it's a new year, that kind of thing. But do they have that? We gotta continue this tradition that Coach Tighe has instilled since being here.
You know, I don't think so yet.
Okay.
I don't think we're there yet. And again, I really believe that comes down to kind of the lack of consistency that we've had here yet. We really truly have not been together as a group for more than a handful of times this season so far. And surely it's something we talk about, and I know for the returners that there's a sense of pride with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the new guys are there yet, and I'm not sure they should be expected to be here yet. When you come into a new school and a new program in a new state, there's so much
acclamation.
Yeah, and it's just different, and they're you know, it can be overwhelming at times, and to kind of grasp, you know, what our program has been about in the first 20 practices, I think is maybe is a tough mountain to climb right away. But if we do our job and our returners do their job, there will be a sense that we don't want to be that team that breaks the streak.
Right.
I think, and I truly believe we will get there at this time. But right now, I think everybody's just all they're trying to do is get on the floor and
get
just
their
try
foot
to learn
in
the
a little
system
bit.
and just kind of learn what helps get them playing time. I think that's kind of been their focus yet. And once we get comfortable with that, then we can worry about some other things in there too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Coach, last thing I want to talk about is your Louis Lee Legends. You know, I know you've done some stuff in the past, but really trying to vamp up and help support the program in different ways with Louis Lee Legends. I know we talked about doing some Zoom meetings in the future here coming up, and you know, had great support with that already.
Yep.
And hopefully, you know, we'll continue to get that support to be able to financially help support your program. Even more so, you know, in different facets. So anything you want to say about the Louis Legends?
Yeah, we want to start those Zoom sessions now that we actually have some stuff to talk about.
Right.
Really
Yeah.
kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the members that have joined so far have been members that weren't a part of our full court club in the past year. So I mean, just to have those new support members has been great.
Absolutely.
And everybody's in the same boat, but you know, we know fundraising is vitally important to us being able to stay competitive with scholarships.
Absolutely.
And, you know, with Division I's only getting the 4 non-conference games and playing non-Division I opponents this year is probably not on the table for a lot of people. And
Right.
the Division II's in this area, not starting until January when we're going to be in our conference season, we really lose out on a lot of fundraising opportunities.
Right.
Going back to March and all the way up through this year. So everybody's help, no matter what the amount, is greatly appreciated, and we need every penny at this time. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, you know, hope stay healthy and get playing games. But good luck this season, Coach. I know you're busy. Appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully we'll do this again mid-season where you'll have some more games under your belt. So good luck and thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.